guys, Sabrina Smizer here.
Jessie Yaggin.
We live in Northeast Missouri and we are market partners with Monat Global. Wanted to throw a video out. Jessica is actually one of my downline market partners, and we have been getting a lot of messages lately about our customers going through detox. And so we wanted to do a video to really explain what that is. I know for me personally, when I first started really considering using Monat, I was on YouTube all the time researching stuff. And there's good videos about detox, but we wanted to kind of go from the beginning to the end of what we went through, what we've researched. And so you will see us reading off this paper. We're doing this so we don't get lost, because when we are together, there's lots of squirrels. So we're going to just hop right in. Detox is a real thing. It's important that you know what detox is and what the symptoms are, so that way you can work your way through it and be educated in that. It basically means your hair is getting rid of the stuff on your scalp, follicles, and hair strands. It does not need to be there. Monat, it works in steps. The detox process, then recovery process, then stabilization. And that process may take 90 days. And that's why a lot of times you hear people say, use Monat exclusively for at least 90 days. Well, that's because I know someone who had begun their detox, a horrible detox, day one, and if they would have just borrowed a sample and used it one time, they would have given up, but they stuck through it and now their hair is literally insane. So it could take less than 90 days, it could take more. We'll talk at the end our personal experiences. My detox was only a week and a half. So we'll talk more about that later. But yeah, there's nothing like Monat out there. Monat works at the cellular level to repair the hair. So yeah, Jessie's gonna chat about why we detox.
Okay, so as we know, hair right here is actually not alive, but our hair follicle is. And so what I want you to do is think of your hair like it is a sponge. So if we keep putting silicones in it, different waxes, water retardant products on it, is our hair going to be able to absorb anything? No, because everything is going to be blocked off, clogged with buildup, okay? So when detox comes in, is because it's taking all of those things that we have built up in our hair, whether it comes from medications that we're taking, products that we've been using, and even water, okay? Around here in Northeast Missouri, we have a lot of hard water, and that gets deposited into our hair, even the environment, okay? Dirt, anything, dust, okay? That's all going to be sitting on top of our hair. And then think of our makeup. If you wear foundation, I do this all the time. And so then I'm thinking, well, what's going on? I am literally taking my hands, my fingers, and who knows what's on that, and going through my hair and pushing whatever I had on my forehead into my hair follicles, not thinking anything of it. And I do that all the time. And so when we do that, we're removing the bad things. But again, we're like a sponge. So what's going to happen when the sponge is not getting the moisture that it wants, that it needs? Okay, it is going to not work the way it should. And so once detox is done and the sponge gets the right moisture, it's going to do what it's supposed to. So just a little bit of science, but when we talk about the hair, there are 3 different levels. You heard Sabrina talk about how Monat's able to penetrate all 3 of those just because of how it is formulated and is able to penetrate and get down to that cellular level within our hair. And so think of our cuticle layer as that is our outermost layer. So that's really layer 1, and it kind of resembles like fish scales in the appearance. And then you have the cortex, and then you have the innermost layer. So there's 3. If the cuticle is filled with junk, okay, with all the different stuff that we talked about, a lot of products use silicones, waxes, things that make our hair look so shiny, but that's really just camouflaging what our hair is really like. And so when you have that, you're not allowing your hair to open up and receive what it's actually needing. Instead, it's closed off and nothing's being able to penetrate it. So maybe you are going and getting different treatments done, and then, oh, my hair feels so good, and then you wash it and it's gone. Well, it shouldn't be like that. What's happening is your cuticle is so closed up. In other bad cases, you could get it where your cuticle is just blasted open, where it is letting everything in and it's letting everything out. So no matter what, you're not getting what you need. And so what Monat's going to do is it's going to go in and it is going to remove whatever it is that is on your hair shaft, your scalp, and your cuticle, and it is going to remove that. And over time, when this is going to be a process, it's not going to happen with day one. And so over time then, your cuticle is blasted out, it's going to then form and get smaller, so your hair is going to be smoother. If it was filled with all the buildup and your opening, it was so small, it's then going to release that, and then all the oils and the different ingredients from Monat is going to be able to penetrate and go through.
Okay, the next thing we want to chat about is Monat. With detox, it is expected, it is normal, and it's temporary. And so we're going to kind of go through that here for a little bit, okay? Monat is expected. Unless you are one of the few Monat unicorns that don't detox, you are going to most likely go through what we're talking about today, and it's going to suck. Some people have it worse than others, but we're not going to say that it's going to be this little thing that's going to change. It could very well suck, because it just is. And we'll talk more about that. But that's why we and any market partner will encourage you to really commit day one. You are going to give this 90 days, trust the process, trust your market partner, and you're going to just give it 90 days. If you commit from the beginning to give it 90 days, you'll have an easier road from start to finish. So you're not going to get 2 weeks in and be like, okay, just kidding, I'm done. It's like doing a 7-day cleanse. You're going to do these shakes for 7 days. Well, then day 3 be like, I don't like the way my stomach feels. You don't like the way your stomach feels because all the junk is moving out so you can be healthy. Of course you're not going to like how you feel on day 3. So like with Monat, you need to give it the time to do its job, and that is going to look different for everybody. The silicone and waxes and products that is on your scalp has built up over time. That may not have happened in just 1 year of your life. If you're just starting Monat, it could be 30 years of buildup. It could even be hard water, like she said, could be a factor. Detox is slowly but surely breaking up and removing that buildup, and it may take time for that to happen. It could take multiple washes to get the sticky feeling off your hair, and we'll get to that. Yeah, so that's expected. That's what we're talking about. Do you want to add anything to that? Just Monat is expected before we go into that it's just normal?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm good.
Next is detox is normal. We have several kind of symptoms that we're going to dive into, because I experienced shedding, some light shedding. My scalp was super oily and super itchy. And so I know that other people have experienced dry scalp. And so and tangles and all of this kind of stuff. So we're going to kind of touch on all of those. And so if you're experiencing that, just stay tuned, because we'll hit on that. Symptoms, like I said, tangling, dryness, stickiness, overproduction of oil, greasy feeling, itchy scalp, flaky scalp, red bumps. I had those as well. Frizzy hair and shedding. Okay, oily roots, or what for me, like my roots felt oily, but then there was a day where they looked oily, but they didn't feel oily. So it's gonna kind of just be like, what is the deal? That's detox. Even if you just wash it. So just to kind of dive into that a little bit. The reason people get oily is because the scalp has glands that are signaled that more oil is needed. When you use our Rejuvenate oil, it gives longer lasting moisture and protection, so your body doesn't have to work so hard to produce oil. It's kind of like giving your body a helping hand when you use the oil on your scalp. And so this is what we want to talk about with Monat. We have a Rejuvenate oil, which literally needs to be in every hand of someone who's using Monat, especially at the beginning, to where you can have this during detox. This oil mimics our natural oils in our body, and I'll let you dive more into that. Dive into the oil.
Okay, yeah. And so, like Sabrina was talking about, with the oil, I'm already an oily person, and so then when we are using Monat, and we remove that oil, all that extra that we didn't need, remove the buildup, what happens is then that kind of acted like a shield and kind of like a barrier. So then your body's like, oh no, you need more. And so then I got super, super oily. And so it sounded kind of silly, but went to my market partner, my upline at that time, and what am I supposed to do? And she said, put oil in your hair. And I thought, that doesn't sound right. Like, why would I'm already oily. I'm not gonna do that. No, just trust me. And I thought, well, I've trusted her this far. My hair feels amazing. And so I did it. And then I dug in some more, did my own research as well as listened to her. And with our oil, the Rejuvenique oil, it has 11 more, well, it has about 13 different oils inside this. And we have beta carotene, we have omega-3, we also have essential oils. And please message Sabrina or I, and we can give you a list of every single oil, every ingredient that's in there, and what it does, because it all has a purpose. Okay, like I said before, with our Rejuvenique oil, every ingredient has a purpose with it. And so because the structure is able to get so small on the cellular level, it's able to penetrate and go underneath the cuticle of the hair, and it's going to be able to get into the cortex and heal it from the inside out. When you use Monat, you are going to remove all the buildup like we talked about, and it's going to reveal your natural state of your hair right now at this point. And so that oil is going to help you, and it's going to go inside your hair follicle, inside your scalp, and to heal it from inside out. The more unhealthier your hair is, those cuticles are going to be standing up and they're just wide open. Once Monat does its job and it's working, and the oil, it's going to then close that cuticle, and it's going to leave you with that shine. Again, other oils are just going to lay on the surface, and it's going to provide temporary smooth, not looking frizzy, but then when you wash, it does it again. Unlike Monat, it's going to be longer lasting because it's not going to be on the outside, it's going inside, revealing it throughout on the outside. And so, what does it do? It heals, healing and filling in, because it is going to the inside, it is going to balance out your pH level. So this is why, if you're dry, your pH level is still not where it should be, it needs more oil. If you're oily, you have too much oil. This is then going to even that back out, resulting in that natural oil, resulting in a healthy scalp and perfectly smooth and gorgeous hair. With that being said, our Rejuvenique oil, by the way, it is in, if you're thinking, oh my goodness, like you keep talking about how great this is the oil by itself. Everyone definitely needs it. And what makes Monat so great is this is in every single shampoo and conditioner. So you are going to have this in your hair, and again, that's how it's healing your hair. That's just one of the amazing ingredients. With that, we want to talk about dry hair. Some people experience super dry hair, and with that, they're also they're seeing like flakes, okay, almost like dandruff, okay, and even tangles. All of this is telling you need more moisture in your hair. And so again, Rejuvenique oil, like I said before, that's definitely going to help if you're going to do overnight treatments. Please see Sabrina or I, and we can walk you through that process on how to do that. So if you are feeling flaky, something that really helps is our black 2-in-1. This is part of our men's line, but women can use it too. I personally use this as well as for my first wash, and so this is really going to help because it's one of our most clarifying shampoos, and so it's really, but it has the conditioner in it, and so it's really going to help with the dryness and the flakiness, because you're still going to condition afterwards, if that makes sense. But so your shampoo is going to have conditioner in it when you start with it, so this is something that's really good. Tangles is another symptom that you can have because of your dry ends, and so something that can help with that is, again, oil treatments. I feel like oil treatments help with all of this, no matter what. But something else that can help, the leave-in conditioner is great. That's going to help with your dry ends. The mask will help, a replenished mask. Do you have that? Okay, perfect. That's also going to help because, again, your hair is lacking the moisture that it needs, and so when your hair tangles, it's because you have dry ends. It can also be because you have damaged cuticle, okay? And so sometimes you need a trim. You need to cut your hair to remove some of that as well. Okay.
Right, and like she was saying, the leave-in, all this kind of stuff too. Talk to your market partner, because a little bit goes a very long way.
Absolutely.
And I know that, for example, the black 2-in-1 says massage a generous amount onto wet hair. You have a nickel-sized quarter at most. Do not put a generous amount of this. You're not going to like how your hair feels. For example, just to throw this out there, our blowout cream says apply 1 to 2 egg
Quarter
size amounts.
Huge.
You use a pea size. If you literally open it, barely squeeze it, close it, and that's plenty. So be in touch with your market partner. If you're using stuff and you're just like, I don't like how this feels, that should not be the result of you using Monat products. The mousse, I think it says 2 egg size amounts. You need like 1-2 pumps max.
And I did that, and I hated it.
Right.
I was like, oh yeah, I'm used to store-bought, mousse and
be in touch with your market partners. It very well could be you need that tweaked a little bit, and then once you start getting the correct amount of stuff, you're going to experience what it's supposed to be doing. So be in touch with your market partner.
Absolutely.
So we have gone over the fact that it's expected, it's normal, and then the fact that it's normal, you could be oily, you could be dry, flaky tangles. The next one we're going to jump into is excess shedding. And I'm going to read from here because I don't want to misspeak on any of this stuff. It's really important.
Absolutely.
Shedding is actually not losing hair. This is one of the most common misconceptions in the world of hair loss. Shedding is the transition of follicles from growth phase to resting phase. They don't fall out and die, never to return. They go to sleep to return several months later. Hair follicles work in cycles as a part of their normal process. Even someone not losing their hair goes through the same cycles. The hair will grow for a while and then it will rest for a while. Shedding can happen, which very well could be from all the buildup that was on your scalp, holding all those dead hairs to your scalp. And then now once you've used Monat, that releases that, which it seems like you're losing a lot of hair, but it's just that you've actually cleansed your scalp of unnecessary buildup that can in turn result in what looks like excess shedding. This is a good thing because it is dead weight coming off your scalp. When you use Monat, it starts to penetrate the scalp and begins to reinvigorate the shrunken hair follicles, making them larger. This may cause old, thinner hairs to shed in order to make way for the new, thicker hairs to grow, thanks to the larger follicles. Our products contain powerful active botanicals, including capixul and procataline. To put it simply, they wake up sleeping, sluggish follicles, enlarge them, and then produce the necessary nutrients for growth. If the follicle is small and neglected, then when they begin to wake up, they can rid all the old hair and dead cells that have been clogging them up. Depending on your hair rate and cycle of turnover, the shedding process can seem drastic. So it could be like, I thought Monat was supposed to grow my hair and I'm losing hair. Know that that's normal, okay? Which if you're, be in touch with your market partner, because don't just assume and then not talk to anybody. Let them be in this process with you to kind of keep an eye on you and keep checking on you to make sure what you're going through is healthy and that they can just help you in that. But it's a good thing when that dead hair comes off because it's just proof that the products are working. With continued use, everything is going to balance out. Like she said with the pH, when using the oil, like if you continue to use Monat, this is what it's scientifically designed to do. It's going to balance that out. And that's what makes us stand out, because it does. Everything will balance out, the shedding will stop, and you will just see dramatic growth, okay? Remember that we are a treatment system, and that means long-term health and results, and we're not a quick fix. So now that we have talked about oily, dry, flaky, tangly, shedding, we're going to finish off the fact that Monat is normal with the side effect of itchy.
Yeah, absolutely. And itching, I will tell you, I had more itching than anything. I think I maybe had 1 or 2 days of the, whoa, Sabrina, my hair, it's super oily. But itching, I had a lot. Like some day it was down here, another day it was right here, right here. And with that, I got excited because, especially if I'm itching, that means it's breathing. Like my hair is breathing. The follicles, everything, the buildup is being on. I didn't experience that till probably 3 weeks in. So this wasn't even like an immediate thing. I just started to feel really itchy. And so with that, guys, remember, if you had that closed cuticle like we talked about, like there's just so much buildup inside there, then, not your cuticle, sorry, your hair follicle, there's just so much buildup on your scalp, then once Monat is removing that, it's breathing again, and your cellular level, the activity that's going on in there, it's getting everything to move. So thinning hair, when you have those dormant follicles, that means your hair is there, but it is stuck underneath your buildup. It's in there in that resting stage, and it's coming up. And so especially those, maybe even month 2, month 3, you're starting to feel like, oh, now I'm getting itchy. Like, how exciting, because to me it's like, your hair is good, like it's starting to grow, it's coming out, like because it's growing and it's been sleeping for how long, okay? And so with that, the biggest thing that really relieved that for me, it was the oil, because again, it just kind of calmed it down and it gave it that nourishment that my scalp was really needing. And it was gone. I maybe had 3 days of it. Like I said, one day was here, one day was here. And so again, itching, that is super normal. I had another VIP underneath me. She's like, oh, was my hair, it just felt super itchy. I said, well, come here, like, let's talk about it. She did an overnight oil treatment. Fine, the next day, she said her scalp felt amazing and wasn't itchy anymore, so.
Right. In my notes, this analogy, I kind of wrote down for this as well. Just the whole process of doing this is using Monat in this detox process is a process in the fact that, like, you don't purchase a face cream. I wrote it down because you don't purchase a face cream and then the next morning expect to wake up that your fine lines are filled in and your wrinkles are gone and you just have younger looking skin the next day that you wake up from starting this new stuff last night. That is silly. And so when you expect all this buildup that is on your scalp that has taken years to get there to just be gone in a day or a week, and that your detox may be lasting a week or two, and that you feel like this every day, that you're just mad or frustrated, or which it's okay to be frustrated that it feels like that, it's life. But to feel that should be any different is just silly. So to just know that it's a process, it will go smoother if you are educated before you begin. And that's what we really hope we do. We're sorry this video is so long, but we want to really cover it. To me, it's worth watching a long video if you are gonna know what you're going through and why and what to do to fix it. You kind of shared your detox story. Do you have anything else to add? Then I'll share mine and I'll close.
Just one thing, like with what Sabrina was saying, is I don't want you to feel like, oh, I'm hydration, and so that means I only wash like 3 to 4 days, but I'm super oily. And then wash again. Right. Okay, this is shampoo and conditioner. Long story short, that's all it is. Wash your hair again. Sometimes if you have the black and you are just still feeling super oily, or when you wash that second time, this is sulfate free. Okay, with that being said, that means you're not going to get those lathers until you remove all the buildup that you already had. So just keep that in mind. But if you still feel that second wash, you're like, I don't feel like it is doing anything, it is stuck. Okay, I've had people who have had just the samples have said that to me and then have quit. Don't give up. Instead of adding more, rinse your hair, wash for a 3rd time, and then it'll be like magic. Right.
Yep, definitely. To share my detox story kind of quickly, I began using Monat, washed one. I woke up the next day and I was blown away. I had so much volume when my hair always just felt so flat. It was so soft. I was absolutely blown away. I knew that day that I wanted to sell this stuff, because if it did that for me, I want this for everybody that I know. And it was amazing, amazing, amazing for like a week and a half. Then I washed my hair at 5 o'clock one evening. The next morning, I woke up and it felt disgusting. And I was like, I just washed last night. I'm detoxing! Like I got so excited. So I was like, yes, it's starting. Because if it starts, that means I'm going to go through it, and then it's going to be over, and then I'm going to have Monat hair. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And so that was mine. I experienced super itchy scalp. The things where we said red bumps, like it felt like, this is probably gross, but it felt like I had pimples on my head where it would just be a bump. And I'd be like, oh, it's so gross. And it felt like I literally had just stuff. I felt like if I had a knife, I could do that and it would be on the knife. That's what I felt like. And when I first started using Monat, I rarely ever, maybe once or twice a month, ever used hairspray. So I thought, well, surely I'm not going to detox. I don't put anything on my hair. I hate all those products. So when I went through my detox, that's why I felt oily. And when I was itching, I was just like, I'm not even mad because this means my hair's growing. I'm not even mad. And I'd be like kind of itching, like, I'm so happy. So, yeah. And then that was for like a week and a half. I did oil treatments all the time. Like she said, big picture, this is shampoo and conditioner. I would use the black 2-in-1 and it would feel like I just did nothing. I left it for a minute or two. I rinsed very, very, very well. I did the black 2-in-1 again, a nickel size. Again, got a teensy little bit of a lather. left it a minute or two, rinsed very, very well. Then I did my Revive, another nickel size. I had George Washington hair at this point with a lather, left it a minute or two, then rinsed. Then I squeezed the water out of my hair, applied conditioner, a nickel size on the bottom half of my hair, and I rinsed it very, very, very well, and I was done. But then the next day or by the next night, I felt oily again, so I would do it again. And so that's the thing too with Monat, like my shampoo and conditioner I've had for almost 5 months and I'm just now low. And so if you're using it the correct way and using a little bit, this is gonna last you, it's worth the investment. It's gonna last you a while if you're using it the right way. To finish off, we said it's expected, it's normal, and it's temporary. So I put here, the more you wash your hair, the quicker you're gonna get through detox. Because if detox is just stuff on your hair, well, if you don't wash your hair, you're not gonna get that off. It's like, let me have dirty hands, well, I'm not gonna wash, go wash your hands. Well, then wash them again, then wash them again to get it off. And so, big picture, like she said, Monat is shampoo and conditioner. It's not gonna hurt to wash your hair too much if you have the right products. If you're using black 2-in-1 and you have super, super dry hair and you don't have the oily and the flakes, all that kind of stuff, you're gonna dry your hair out, your scalp out so bad. You need renew, then renew, then renew, then your conditioner. You need to use the correct products for your hair, but it's okay to wash more often. I would wash my hair almost every day. If you don't like how your hair feels, go wash it, okay? Don't feel like you need to wait to wash. The more you're using the products, the more they are able to do their job. They're scientifically proven to do what we have explained here. Put them on your hair more often and let them do that job more often, and you'll get through the detox process quicker than if you waited a few days in between. Yeah, there will be a day. For me, it was like there was a day that I washed my hair and it was just like amazing. See, I would wash my hair and it felt great, but then by that night I was just like, ugh. I washed it and I was just like, okay. And then the next day I didn't wash and I was like, am I past it? So for me, I just thought it was in the cards for me to just have this thinning spot and to not have volume and to just not be able to curl my hair and to just feel the way it felt. I just thought that's what was in the cards for me. I would go and see people with gorgeous hair and I'd be like, that must be nice, must be nice. This is just not for me. And so I tried Monat because I watched a video and my upline was on the video just talking about her hair and I thought, why not? Let me just try it, and fell in love. And so we want to close to just really encourage you guys. We've said it several times on this video. Be in touch with your market partner that you're under. If you don't have a market partner, shoot us a message. Monat with Jessie Y, or Monat, yeah, Jessie space Y. Yeah. And Monat with Sabrina Smizer, Sabrina Smer. Shoot us a message. Yeah. And we can even put this, we'll put a slide at the end of the video with our information. If you don't have a market partner, send us a message. Let's get you going. It is in the cards for you and we want to help you get there. If you have a current market partner, support them. Go to them. Absolutely. If you are a market partner, do the research that you need to do to be able to educate your customers. That way you don't have customers that are using the wrong products, and then that's what their experiences with Monat isn't a good one, because it could be better if they were doing it the correct way. Thank you guys. We hope you learned something. Sorry it was so long, but I'd rather have a long video with lots of good info to where now you're ready to take on detox, or now you know what to do differently with detox, or whatever. So, all right, thanks. Bye.